Talia and I are defending the validity of marriage because of the legal and economic advantages of having a marriage between two people. In addition, the Bible tells us all about marriage. Since 77% of Americans identify as Christians, they follow the Bible's teachings about marriage. Lastly, marriage offers legal benefits to spouses and produces economic success for the nation as a whole. Therefore, in our next segment, you will see Talia and I defending the validity of marriage.
Brennan and I believe that marriage is outdated because 50% of all marriages end in divorce, and that marriage has specific incentives that people need to wait for in order to get married. In order for us to make the best argument we can, we should define a few terms first. The definition of outdated means no longer in use or fashionable, outdated, or outmoded. The definition of a divorce is a judicial declaration dissolving a marriage in whole or in part, especially one that releases the marriage partners from all matrimonial obligations. The definition of gay marriage is a marriage between someone of the same sex, but doesn't have the same benefits socially or economically as a marriage between the people of two people of the opposite sex. In our argument, Brenda and I are going to discuss why marriage needs to begin to adapt to modern times for economic, political, and social reasons.
The definition of marriage is the legal union of a couple as spouses. The basic elements of marriage include the parties' legal ability to marry each other, mutual consent of the parties, and a marriage contract as required by law. In general, marriage makes a contribution to the common good by generating social and economic capital. Legally, marriage offers couples many federal benefits. To be specific, 1,138 benefits. Among those benefits and rights, spouses have visitation rights and can make medical decisions on behalf of his or her spouse, property and inheritance rights even without a will, the power to make life insurance trusts, tax benefits, ability to receive spouses' Medicare, Social Security, disability and veterans benefits, and many others. Marriage is a means to an economic end. It results in more saved money to spend on important items, a raised credit score, and therefore getting good loan offers, which could hypothetically lead to, for example, the ability to buy a bigger and more expensive house, thus pumping more dollars into the economy. Shared employer benefits, combined expenses, for example, a family cell phone plan bill usually charges less per minute than an individual cell phone bill, and an overall increased financial stability. A common saying is 2 heads are better than 1, and the institution of marriage is no exception. It unites 2 people to provide legal and economic gains for each other and for the entire system. Another important but not as well-known fact to note is that married couples and families are found to have fewer incidents of poverty and mental health issues. Moreover, married women are at a lower risk for being harmed in domestic violence situations than those in dating-type relationships. Children of parents who are married are less likely to engage in violent and criminal behavior than those of single-parent homes. To concede to the other point of view side, we should reform the current state of marriage to include all types of couples, from hetero and homosexual to various other types, so everyone has the same opportunity to receive economic and legal benefits. However, civil unions and domestic partnerships already offer similar, if not the same, benefits as marriage, so that decreases the importance and urgency of reforming marriage as an institution, since most people get the benefits they want anyway.
Being gay is not a choice that people can make. When 2 people love each other, they should be able to be married no matter what sex they are. 50% of all marriages between a man and a woman end in divorce today. So why shouldn't people of the same sex be able to try their own marriages? Marriage is defined by the legal or religious ceremony that formalizes the decision of 2 people to live as a married couple. The institution of marriage is lessened because it is seen as a piece of paper that requires people to stay together. There are many successful relationships that do not end in marriage. Long-term relationships leave people happy and satisfied without the paper that says you are required to be with one singular person. Also, marriage has certain incentives that people receive once they are together. The shared benefits of sharing everything with one other person takes away the passion from the marriage and leaves only economic reasons to get married. This skips right over the love and affection for the other person. DOMA, the Defense of Marriage Act, was ruled unconstitutional in 2013, and this shows America taking a step in the right direction to let passion back into marriages all over the country. These are all reasons that gay people should be able to get married because they want to get married for the sake of marriage and not for the sake of the benefits.
The Bible is an unwavering piece of literature that has guided our nation from the days of the founding fathers and on. Therefore, today is no different, and the institution of marriage should stay the way it was hundreds of years ago because the Holy Bible supersedes all. Now let me quickly define what marriage is according to the Bible. The Bible defines the institution of marriage as an intimate and complementing union between a man and a woman in which the two become one physically. It is also something that is permanent and serious, whose purpose is to reflect the relationship of God and to serve Him. Lastly, marriage is something that is sacred and exclusive to the husband and the wife. As Genesis 2:24 states, that a man shall leave his father and his mother and hold fast to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh. Marriage is still valid today because the Bible played a part in the creation of our nation, and still to this day plays a huge part in how Americans live their lives. According to recent Gallup polls, upwards of 77% of Americans identify themselves to be Christian. Therefore, they follow the teachings of the Bible and the scriptures. One of the 7 sacraments Christians abide by is marriage, which is considered to be one of the most divine and honored sacraments, because it is a relationship before and under God, submitting oneself to Him. Some of the teachings in the Bible, such as Hebrews 13:4, which states marriage should be honored by all, and the marriage bed kept pure, for God will judge the adulterer and all the sexually immoral. And Mark 10:6-9, which says, "But at the beginning of creation, God made them male and female. For this reason, a man shall leave his father and be united to his wife, and the two shall become one flesh." So they are no longer two but one flesh. Therefore, what God has joined together, let no one separate. These show us the values these Christians honor. Therefore, the teachings of the Bible are still prevalent and valid today, even as society changes, because first, the Bible is stagnant, and second, the Bible is sacred and truthful to more than 75% of Americans. In all, since more than 3/4 of the nation's people believe in these teachings, it is more than safe to conclude that marriage is a valid institution.
The original institution of marriage is completely outdated. Around 80% of Americans in the United States say that they are practicing some type of religion. Most religions believe that divorce itself is a crime against the sacred and divine bond of God. What therefore God has joined together, let not man separate. Mark 10:9. There are only a few exceptions for this rule. For example, the death of a spouse or the committing crime of adultery. Anyone who divorces his wife and marries another woman commits adultery, and the man who marries a divorced woman commits adultery as well. Luke 16:18. And I say to you, whoever divorces his wife, except for sexual immorality, and marries another, commits adultery. Matthew 19:9. The Quran states, but if their intention is for divorce, Allah heareth and knoweth all things, meaning that Allah will know if the reasoning for divorce is valid, and if not, then the sacredness of the marriage is invalid. Today, between 45 and 50% of marriages end in divorce, according to divorcestatistics.org. That is almost half the population of the United States. In younger couples, ages 20 to 24, the divorce rate is at 36.6% for women and 38.7% for men. How could you argue for the validity of marriage if the majority of the United States is religious and half the population divorces their spouse? Another question on the original institution of marriage is the necessity of the bond of God. 44% of Americans under the age of 30 believe that marriage is heading towards extinction. Most believe that if there is a connection between two people, they should be able to maintain that relationship without officiating their dedication with marriage. Others believe that these connections are only temporary and that the love and passion will eventually die. Marriage is often difficult for some in the United States because of financial issues. Many wait until they have earned a certain status before marriage. Often this is because a partner cannot support the other due to their low wages, resources, and lack of job security. marriage rates are currently at an all-time low in the United States because of the state that the economy is in. Americans are disregarding their religion and are continuing to ignore the act of marriage while maintaining a steady increase of divorce rates. With these major issues, the institution of marriage is extremely outdated.
As seen in the previous segments, Sarah and I have defended the validity of the institution of marriage. A quote from a book titled American Marriage, A Political Institution by Priscilla Yameen describes marriage as representing communal duty, moral education, and social and civic status. Yet at the same time, it represents individual choice, contract, liberty, and independence from the state. Marriage is also referenced in the Bible, so for thousands of years, tradition, religious obligation, and cultural normalcy have been rooted in the institution of marriage.
Maddie and I believe that the institution of marriage is outdated based on the facts of divorce, gay marriage, long-term relationships, and its necessity. Because of the evolution of society's view of marriage, the importance of the legal union is purely based on economic benefits. The act of marriage that was once a holy and sacred connection between the spouses and their God is now tarnished due to the lack of tradition.
Quiet on set.
I'm Sarah. And this is Dolly. I can't do it.
That was awful. We were not even on the same key.
Oh, that was good, guys. That was good.
Okay, let's go.
Noted in the
Start over.
Whoever divorces his wife except for sexual immoral
What? Okay.
percent for men. How could you argue the the validity?
Stop. I'm ready.
Okay, ready? 3, 2.
Wait, no matter, wait. Send it, and then when that's tradition,
I'm just gonna run it.
No.
No, pop out.
You can't see you. Until I leave.
Oh, Tolly's, dang it! Tolly is Jewish.
Aww. Okay,
Right.
get back onto the table.
Okay,
Are you here?
No.
Okay.
The shared benefits of sharing everything with another person takes away the passion from the marriage and leave only economic reasons to get married and skips right over the love and affection for the other person.
Okay, I'm done. Guys, I'm done. And scene.